Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Julie Chrisley coming home early, extreme possibility. It looks like Chrisley knows best. Alum Julie Chrisley's early release from prison is an extreme possibility. She is currently serving 7 years in a Kentucky Federal Medical Center. So far her sentence has been shortened by a little over a year. Yet could she see even more shaved off? Read on for more details. Julie Chrisley coming home early, extreme possibility. It was not bad enough for the Chrisley family that Todd and Julie Chrisley were being sent away for a total of 19 years. They had also been sent to separate facilities. He headed to Pensacola, Florida, and Julie was off to Kentucky. Communication was an uphill battle as they could really only email with one another. Their daughter, Savannah Chrisley, shared that they would relay messages through her. She was the one who would emphasize to her parents how much they loved each other. It still has not been the same, and there was hope they would have their case heard again in March 2024. This is a rare situation, but it gave them some hope, and since then, both sentences have been reduced slightly. Of course, that is better than nothing, but it is now Julie who has the best chance of coming home even earlier. According to People, Savannah had her parents' lawyer on her podcast recently. Alex Little shared his thoughts on Julie's early exit and why it could happen. If she is resentenced in the summer or the fall of next year, I think her sentence should be substantially reduced. He added that some mistakes had been made when she was first sentenced, hence the resentencing. That being said, she may come home as soon as 2025, given a 3-year sentence. Exiting early. As aforementioned, Todd and Julie Chrisley will be leaving their prisons early. He is set to be released on January 22, 2033. That's close to 2 years prior to when he was supposed to exit. As for Julie, she is currently expected to leave Kentucky on October 19, 2028. Again, this could all change, but as Alex Little explained, no one wants false hope. The early release of Julie Chrisley from prison was more than just a headline, it was the buzz in every corner of Nashville and beyond. For months, fans of Chrisley Knows Best had whispered, speculated, and even hoped that a legal miracle might bring Julie back to her family ahead of schedule. But no one expected this extreme possibility to come true so soon, and certainly not in the grand way it did. Julie's unexpected homecoming wasn't just a reunion, it was a reawakening. The Chrisley family had endured its share of struggles and media scrutiny, but this event brought a mix of emotions, the kind that words couldn't fully capture. Todd, her husband, had been holding it together for the kids, though everyone who knew him could tell that every day Julie was away chipped away at his famously flamboyant bravado. Even Chase and Savannah, once the family's lively and rebellious duo, had stepped into more mature roles, helping to maintain the household and keep everyone's spirits up. It was Savannah who first heard the news. She was scrolling through her phone, checking messages and updates, when she stumbled across an article that suggested Julie Chrisley's release possible within days. At first she rolled her eyes, chalking it up to the rumor mill, but a flicker of hope warmed her heart. Within hours, though, hope turned to certainty as an official statement confirmed her mom's release. Savannah didn't waste a second. She dropped everything, called Chase, and they quickly devised a plan to make the homecoming unforgettable. Todd was more than just excited. He was downright beside himself. He took charge in his own way, fretting over details, adjusting the decor in their Tennessee mansion, and worrying over whether everything was just perfect for Julie's return. As always, he wanted nothing short of perfection for his wife. Meanwhile, Grayson and Chloe busied themselves with signs and decorations, covering the house in handmade banners that read, "Welcome home, Mom, and family forever." Chloe's little voice could be heard singing in the background, her cheerful melodies filling the otherwise quiet rooms. It was a moment none of them thought they'd be sharing so soon, and every second felt as surreal as it was joyful. Finally, the day arrived. As the black SUV pulled into the driveway, the air was charged with anticipation. A slight mist hung in the air, giving the whole scene a soft, almost dreamlike quality. The entire family stood waiting, their eyes fixed on the car as the door opened. When Julie stepped out, she paused for a second, looking around as if to soak it all in. She looked just as they remembered, with a calm grace that seemed only magnified by the months spent away. Todd was the first to reach her, wrapping her in a bear hug, his usually composed demeanor crumbling as he held his wife close. They stood there in silence for a moment, just the two of them, before the rest of the family joined in, creating a massive, tearful group hug on the front lawn. Cameras flashed as they tried to capture every moment of the reunion, but this wasn't for the media. This was about a family made whole again. The first evening back in the house was a mix of laughter, of stories, and emotions that ran high. Julie noticed how much had changed since she'd been gone. The kids had grown, both in age and maturity, and even Todd had a new perspective, one that was less focused on the show and more on simply living in the present with his family. Dinner that night was as grand as they could make it, with Todd's famously meticulous taste reflected in every detail. Julie's favorite dishes were lined up on the table, and each child had contributed something special. As they all sat down, Todd offered a toast. "To my beloved Julie," he said, holding up his glass, his voice trembling with emotion. "The heart of this family, the woman who has shown us what resilience really looks like. Today we are blessed beyond words to have you back." Julie smiled, her eyes misty but glowing with gratitude. She thanked them for their love, for their support, and above all, for their resilience during her time away. She also admitted with a bit of humor that she'd missed her dysfunctional bunch more than she could ever say. After dinner, they gathered in the living room for a family game night, just as they had before everything changed. They laughed, teased, and reminisced, slipping back into the comforting rhythms of their life together. But as the night wore on, Julie found herself reflecting quietly on everything she'd endured. Though her family's support had kept her going, the experience had changed her in ways she was only beginning to understand. The following days brought a mix of media attention and public scrutiny, with reporters eager to capture every detail of Julie's return. But the family shielded themselves as best as they could, savoring the privacy they'd long craved. Julie, however, knew that this moment was fleeting, that, eventually, they would need to address the challenges that had brought them to this point. She wanted to use her experience to advocate for reform, for compassion in the justice system, and to shed light on the many people still facing hardship behind bars. Yet for now, she allowed herself to simply be present. She went shopping with Savannah, shared coffee with Todd on their back porch, and watched Grayson and Chloe play in the backyard. These simple moments were the ones she'd missed most, the sights, sounds, and warmth of home. In the coming weeks, Julie began to shape a new vision for her life and family. The Chrisleys had always been known for their larger-than-life personalities, but now there was a softer, more grounded quality in their interactions. They were still the same family, still full of quirks and drama, but the experience had brought a humility and strength that none of them could have anticipated. The Chrisleys were back, but they were different now, stronger, wiser, and more united than ever. And as Julie settled back into her role as the family's matriarch, she knew that, no matter what lay ahead, they would face it together.